Tutorials on Linux. As all of know, in as MCA first or MCA second year, what is Linux? I don't think that it is the requirement to introduce what exactly is Linux. Is it required? Anyone who doesn't know what is Linux? Is there anyone who don't know what is Linux? Everyone knows? Please tell me, one of you, what is Linux according to you? Raise your hand. It is just a operating system. Now, on the name of operating system, we know we have a very famous and you can say performed well user interface operating system, that is in market, Windows. Everyone knows? Okay? And most of the time we interact and we use just Windows. Then why we are here for learning Linux? What is the reason? Yeah. One by one. It is more secure than Windows. One point. Second, which type of updations? Now, the first and the most important thing, open source. Our main concern, and from where I come, the open source task force. Linux is just the part. Our main concern says open source. Fine. Now, who will tell me what is open source? Yeah.
Source code available होता है जिससे हम change करके modify कर सकते हैं.
Fine. Anything else? There is a source code available with the software and we can modify it. Anyone can add something more than this definition? It is free of cost. Yes, of course. Now, take a little introduction before starting Linux. What is open source? I have a small PPT on it. Yeah, as this presentation, this slide shows that open source, most of us just mean that open source just means free source code. As we have said that it means free source code, but it is more than that. Now let's see what exactly is open source. First, let's introduce what exactly is open source. Open source is what? Where the source code is distributed. Here the main word is distributed with your software. Means the vendor who is supplying you a software, that is called as open source, should also provide free source code or distribute source code. And second thing is software developed in an open source collaborative way by a group of developers. Means if the source code is available, then anybody, and not everyone, only the programmers who can understand the code, can modify and derive new things from that. This is the main power of open source. Why most of the companies in market currently, you can say, promoting the open source technology. Once there was a time that that's the OSS is called as open source software, on which this slide is based. But nowadays, if you search out Google, you will find a new term that is called open source technology. But our concern is not that, that is beyond of this presentation or these tutorials. It's your work that you can find what is open source technology and what are the things that is available open source other than softwares. There are some more things available. Now let's move what about this presentation, little bit history of open source, some definitions, example of open source software, one new term that is OSI. All of us know OSI as open system interconnection, but it is not like that here. It is something else. We will find open source licensing, disadvantages, and as an individual what we can do, and open source software sites. Now let's start with a little bit history. This term open source was coined in 1998 by some persons who are working for making a systems similar to another operating system that is called Unix. All of us know Unix? Yeah, it is a very well systems, you can say operating system designed in 1960, 61, when the C was developed. We have already studies that C was developed in 1961 by Dennis Ritchie, and he was also involved in the development of Unix operating system. That is just a copy, or you can say a derived work of you can say Unix. The Linux that we are going here study is just another version of Unix. Fine. That was the first term is given in 1998 when the Linux project was initiated by Linus Torvald. Here one more term is GNU project. GNU. Anyone know what is the meaning of GNU? Somewhere you will find a term GNU Linux. What is the meaning of GNU? GNU stands for genuinely not Unix. Means that developers were trying to make an operating system just similar to Unix. That was the actual operating system that has all the powers what we are here getting in form of Linux. But that you can say that not in the Unix form. Fine. So they develop a new licensing term where a new software can be developed with the same source code, and anybody can derive. Anybody can copy that source code, make suitable changes, and make their own you can say versions, and you can again redistribute that software. Now there are some definitions that are divided into three parts, that open source software should have all these conditions. First is it allows free redistribution, as I have told. It means if you are making some open source software, or you are using an open source software to make some changes, it should be again what you have make it would be again available as a open source. You can't make it as a proprietary software. Clear? Next thing, it requires that source code be distributed with software otherwise made available for no more than cost. It means the vendor who is supplying the open source software should not charge for you can say as a for source code. Now here is a list of some open source softwares. We very well know what is Fedora. What is? Another version of distribution of Linux, another version or flavor of Linux. Then 7-zip. What is 7-zip? A compression tool. WinRAR. Anybody has listened WinRAR or zip? Compressed zip. Similarly, here is a 7-zip that is open source available. Notepad++ is a text editor that is also available as a open source. Pidgin is a chatting software. VLC, very well known media player. OpenOffice is an alternative of Microsoft Office. GNU Cache is a payment related softwares. FileZilla is a FTP client, and Mozilla Firefox, we all know, is a web browser, open source, that is available. Means what I am trying to showing here is that in market all the softwares have their alternative open source softwares. Clear? Next is OSI's requirement. Now someone in starting of this presentation tell me that OSI stands for Open System Interconnection. But now here it is open source initiative. If you try to check this term on Google, you will find that there is only a single committee in the you can say worldwide which exactly regulating the open source, because different companies you can say do their own work, own part for open source, but there is no other body who can define the standards of open source. Clear? So there is a committee, that is Open Source Initiative, who defined 12 terms for a software to be a open source. What are that? First is free redistribution. Clear this point? Next is free source code available. Next is derived work. Derived work means anybody can derive. It should be a derived, not I can say anybody has a liberty to make some changes. Integrity of author's source code means it's up to author what he want to do with his code. He can make up to that you can say that much changes that he want. No discrimination against person or groups. Nobody can say that this open source software is especially for this country's persons or this community's person or this department person. It would be available for all. No discrimination against field of underwear. It doesn't mean that you can say that it would be used in only defense ministry, or it would be you can say in the field of hospital or in any other field. Distribution of license. This is the main point that you may check, that there are different licensing terms available with open source. Different companies make their own open source software and they make different licensing terms, that at how much level you can make changes and how you can use the softwares. That must be applied, that if a person or if a company use a open source software, take a open source software, there is a license term. If you are making some changes, you have to apply same changes, same you can say license term to that particular changed software. Similarly, there are some more points that license must not be specified to a product, or license must not be restricted to other softwares. It means if some company is making 5 softwares or 3 of their softwares is open source, it now you can say must not be mandatory for that all the softwares must be open source. In Linux itself, if you are using Linux, there are most of the softwares available open source, but some of the softwares are also available as a proprietary softwares. So it is not mandatory that you will use open source softwares. All the software must be open source. Last point, technology must not be technology neutral भी नहीं होना चाहिए. And just finish up. It's going to be too lengthy. So I am finishing this PPT and moving to the installation part of Linux. I think all of us have already in first semester done Linux as a part of C.
Yes, sir.
And in C++ or data structure, you are also, I think, making programs in Linux. So all of you know the Linux installation. There are 2 possible ways we can install Linux. As a you can say we can install on a bare machine, direct on machine, or the other alternative is we can install Linux on virtual machine. Everybody know what is virtual machine? Anyone who don't know the virtual machine? Anyone? You don't know what is virtual machine? Virtual machine is a software that provide a layer, or you can say a similarity, looks similar to your bare hardware. As we know that in a single machine we can install only one operating system at a time, or you can say we can run only one operating system on a machine. Is it okay? Fine. Some says that we can install different versions. That is another aspect. At one time we can run only one operating system. So to enhance the power of machine or the usability of a machine, industry you can say create a new concept that is called as virtual machine. Java virtual machine is one of them, but JVM, yeah, but that is not our part. We have some other virtual machines, that is VirtualBox, Oracle VirtualBox. Have you heard about Oracle VirtualBox? Oracle Corporation provided a free software as a named VirtualBox. That we will see, and another software that is available, that is VMware. Have you heard VMware? These are 2 virtual machine software that are available free to download and use, and these both of these software provide the facility that we can install these software on either Windows or either Linux, and on these software we can again install as many operating system as we want, if our hardware capacity allow. Fine. So virtual machine, I am going to start here. VirtualBox, Oracle VirtualBox. For installation, what we need? A system with the minimum system requirement and a installation disk. In our tutorial, we will use a disk image, ISO image. Everybody know ISO image? Because I don't have a physical CD, so I will use a image of Fedora for installation. In this Oracle VirtualBox, we will choose here either file and you can say here new option. Just click next. It will ask to give a name. Give it any name, the operating system name. I am giving here Fedora 14. What I am going to here installing. Just selecting next. Here it is asking me to giving the part of some of my RAM. In my system I have 4 GB of RAM, and it is suggesting me that 768 MB RAM would be enough for Fedora 14. It's up to me that if I would like, I can increase it or take it as it is. I am just increasing it up to around 1 GB and selecting next. Yes, another option here is creating a virtual hard disk. As our physical hard disk is there, it will create a virtual hard disk. It will take some part of our any partition and assign to that another virtual machine or operating system. There are two options: create new hard disk or use as existing. I am creating new hard disk. It will take some time. Now these are some formats. We can choose any one of them of virtual hard disk. Next is dynamic allocation and fixed size. As the name suggests, what does it mean? The size that we have choose is 8 GB. Fine. If I select here dynamically allocated, as per the requirement, operating system will automatically access the host system's memory. Fine. But if I choose here fixed size, it will pre-allocated the 8 GB size, not as per the requirement. Fine. So I am here selecting fixed size and selecting here the next. Now again it is asking me to selecting the size of hard disk. It's showing me here 8 GB, but I can increase it. I am making it as 16 GB. Fine. It's up to you. You can see, you can check the minimum requirement from the Fedora website itself, that what is the minimum requirement of RAM, hard disk and other things, processors like. Now I am selecting here 16 GB and selecting next. Now it will asking to creating a virtual hard disk. There is one problem. By this name already a hard disk is present, so we are changing the name of previously selected hard disk. Here is an option where I want to save that space which I have not selected previously. By default it will select any of the part. By this option I can choose which partition of my computer system that have the free space. I am selecting partition D. Here is a folder VM. I am creating here a new folder FD14 and creating a hard disk. Now it will take some time for creating or allocating some space. One thing that I would like ask all of you, anybody think why the companies are making open source software? What is the benefit of those companies behind that?
Dynamicity, dynamic environment के हिसाब से they will be able to adjust ना. जैसे कुछ changes आते हैं तो अपनी कंपनी में वैसे changes ला सकते हैं, तो उसको भी ऐसे implement कर देंगे.
One thing that it helps the companies that any software that is open source, there are different forums available to those softwares. In that forum, different developers use those softwares and suggest the changes. Fine. Then it helps the vendors to create a new version or to debugging easily, fastly, because in a proprietary software only some developers are paid for debugging, but in open source software there are worldwide you can say many programmers are available for debugging. This is the one point. Fine. And dynamic requirements that may not be possible in proprietary environment, because the people who suggest the changes are less as compared to open source. Another point, what would be why the companies are promoting open source? Yes, anybody?
So it is free of cost, so people will download it and try to use it, then they can give their full versions. So if they will like it, they will purchase the full versions. So basically to increase their sales.
Will you can you give me an example that any company who is providing any software as an open source and after giving the full version, it would be a paid software?
So no, not giving the full version, but giving a not full version. They will give full version afterwards. Like we download anything, Internet Download Manager.
Yeah.
I downloaded from internet. So it was a 15 days trial version. It was open source, and after 15 days I have to pay for it. I use it completely.
Now this is the, you can say, a little bit confusion. Exactly, you are you can say merging the two terms, the free trial, fine, and open source. If you are a programmer, fine, then don't download the exe file or executive file if you are a programmer, because it is open source. If IDM is a open source software, then just download the source code, make its exe according to that, make suitable changes that it would not ask to register, then you can use the full version. But because you don't know how to make that changes, that's why you are saying that it is a trial version. Fine, clear? Then one thing that open source softwares are beneficial for many you can say layman users who don't know about the software. They just download it and use it. What is the benefit of companies? Yes, what is their benefit? Anybody? I have given you one point that it promote advertisement, advertise their software. Yeah, one of the point is advertise their Hanji.
एक ये भी तो हो सकता है जैसे मल्टीपल यूजर्स अपने सोर्स कोड अगर कहीं अपलोड कर रहे हैं तो कंपनी क्या कर सकती है, वो डाउनलोड कर सकती है. दे कैन सी मल्टीपल टैलेंट्स, मतलब जो भी सोर्स कोड के ऊपर इंप्लीमेंट हो रहा है उसके हिसाब से दे कैन एडजस्ट देयर एंड मोल्ड देयर कोडिंग, और वो भी मतलब जैसे वर्सेटाइल कोड बना दो काइंड ऑफ.
Yes, many that I have told that all the open source software have their forums. Fine. What are the forums? Forums are the community. Different peoples that are using those softwares. You can say layman user, you can say normal user, or the programmers. Both uses the software, and if they find any problem or any changes, they upload that. Fine. Anybody can. The company itself can use that changes for their own benefit. But that software is not gonna to be sold. Then how the company will benefited? If you are making something and you are solding, or you are not solding, you are distributing it freely. What is the what is your benefit?
Through the watermarks, they're going to be getting benefits.
Yeah.
फ्यूचर में अगर ये सेल करने लग जाएंगे, आप पब्लिसिटी के लिए फ्री में दे रहे हैं, बाद में ये प्राइस रख दें.
सर उनके जो बग्स होंगे दैट कुड बी करेक्टेड बाय सम अदर पर्सन इफ दे वांट टू.
There are some points that are correct that they do for, you can say, fast development. जो डेवलपमेंट टाइम है वो इंक्रीज हो जाता है. Second, you can say make them popularity. Fine. A company that have a name, if it is providing only a proprietary software, fine, less people will use that. Fine. And to promote that software, they have to make advertisements. But if a company provide out of 10 2 software as a open source, out of 10, if they make 2 software as a open source, you can say it will have a company name. Fine. When any user download it and use it, it will know about the company. Fine. Then he will be satisfied. If the company will satisfy, they would also make, you can say that all the other software may be right, may be correct, may be reliable. So indirectly they are promoting their companies or company name, their you can say proprietary softwares. Fine. Another interesting thing before starting the installation, yeah, let's start. I will tell you these things later. Now our virtual hard disk has been created. Now we are just create it. Here Fedora 14 has been, virtual machine has been created. Now I am going to starting it by click here start. It is giving me the instruction that how I can switch from virtual machine to the host machine. The actual machine on which I am working is my host machine, and another one on which I am installing Fedora is my virtual machine. Now it is showing me that if I want to get back, I can press right control. There are 2 control keys. By pressing right control, I can switch back to my host window. Now it is again asking me to that if I am going to using it first time, where is the installation media, and it must be installed something, because I just created a virtual hard disk, haven't make any installation here. So I am defining here that where is my installation media. It may be in my CD drive. Then I simply select my CD drive here, just like C drive, E drive, D drive. Or another thing that I can going to do here is selecting my image file. Fine. There are different versions of Fedoras. I am choosing Fedora 14 32-bit ISO and pressing next. It will automatically start detecting it and making installation. I am not using physical media. You can also use actual Fedora 14 or Fedora, any version Fedora CD. Fine. It automatically detect the content of that ISO file. Here different options are displaying. The first option is install a new system or upgrade an existing system. We are going to choose this system. By leaving all the other options, we are just selecting the first option. By pressing enter, it is going to started different reading contents of this CD. Now this option is asking for checking the disk media, because I am using already, you can say, ISO image that haven't any scratch or you can say deforest, you can say damage. If you are using actual physical media, it may it may have some damage or scratches. So you may before installation, you can say continuing installation, you can check whether your installation media is fully installable or not. I am just skipping this. Otherwise, it will also take some time, 2 or 3 minutes extra for checking your complete installation media. Now it is running a program that is a Fedora installation program. Now here we got the GUI environment. The most easy way to install any software, just read what is the message and just press next. Easy na? Now we are going to press here next. It is saying to selecting the language, next English, US English. Now there are 2 options, basic storage and specialized storage. We are going to choose here basic storage because we don't have any network drive for storage media. By selecting storage, just are you noting down? the steps or not? Okay. If you find anything difficult, please note the steps. Selecting here next. Now it is saying that hard disk contains some unreadable data that may be lost. I am reinitializing it. Fine. Whatever may be the content of that virtual hard disk will reinitialize. It will restart. You can say reread. Now it is asking me to give in the host name. Just leave it as it is, because it is not the part of any network. Now choose to the time region. I am selecting here Kolkata because Delhi isn't here. So you have to choose Kolkata. Yeah. Next, it is asking me the root account password. One thing to be noted is here root account. Root term is used as a super user. Fine. For any system, there are so many different users. In Linux, there are two categories: normal user and super user. And root user is the privileged root user. Fine. So it must be you can say 4 or 5 or 6 character password. I am giving here 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. There are you can say different instruction for assigning password that you very well know that the password should not be easy and whatever. But at this time I am giving for my memorizing 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 and just pressing next. It is saying that it has a weak password, but use it anyway. We can select. Now some you can say important thing that most of the you can stuck. Here are different options that we can select. The first option is use all space. You can use this option if you have a complete hard disk, dedicated hard disk for just installation of Linux. You don't want to install Windows or any other operating system. Then you can choose the first option, use all space. It will automatically create partitions. Fine. But if you have already a previous version of Linux installed in your machine, then you can choose the select option. It will remove all those Linux partition and recreate them. Clear? The third option is shrink current system. If there are different you can say partitions, it will shrink out some of the partition and create a space for you. And most usable option is use free space. If in our system, if we have you can say sufficient amount of RAM in our system, then we can install Linux operating system on virtual machine. Because my system have 4 GB of RAM, on 2 GB already Windows 7 is running, and 1 GB is allocated to this virtual machine for your machine, you can say machine operating system itself. Some of the memory of or host system is occupied by the virtual machine itself. Fine. But it is not always maybe happen that all of you have sufficient memory. It may be possible that you have 1 GB or 2 GB. Then what you will do to install Linux? Anybody? The another option that we can choose, that in our Windows, make a partition as a unpartition. Fine. In our 80 GB, 160 GB of hard disk, we can free some of the part. Let's say 10 GB or 20 GB. Can you do it? Anybody know how to make a partition free? Yes or no? Windows partition. Anybody know Windows partition manager? How to use? Right click on my computer, then manage. Who don't know, just note down the steps. What happened? System is slow. We have just right click on my computer and then click on manage. Here is the option disk management. Now see, there are disk 0 and disk 1. Disk 1 is my pen drive and disk 0 here is my hard drive of my system. Now there are some partitions that are already allocated to different partitions: C drive, D drive, E drive, and another else. Now here you can see one partition is 99 MB of free space. Fine. What you can do, if one of the partition is not so usable, just you can say cut or move the data some other partitions and free up that partition by right clicking and just clicking format. But please don't try before taking backup of that drive, because it will directly cleaning up all the data. Fine. What you have to do, just first formatting the drive, and another option that will come up here after formatting is unpartition. It isn't any showing any option of unpartitioning. After formatting, it will show you another option by right clicking on that drive, unpartitioning the space. It will unpartition and adding up here 99 MB. Fine. It will show you in green color, similar like that. Then after releasing this memory, that may be a 10 GB or 20 GB, then you can directly use your installation media, installation disk, just you can say put it in your hard drive, CD drive, and start installation. Fine. It will show you those options that I have started. There are so many. You have seen. Have you seen different options where I have choose the first one in beginning of this installation and continue the same process? And after reaching here, what you have to choose? Use free space. Means whatever may be the free space of Windows partition, it will automatically detect that and automatically create partitions. Clear? Fine. It is the easiest way that we can choose here, use free space, because we have a 16 GB of space and we can dedicatedly define it, allow it to you can say make partitions. But we are going to select the last option, that is create custom layout. Fine, because there are some things that we can learn here from this. By selecting create custom layout, I can use the allocated space as per my choice. Now it is showing me that we have 16,383 MB of space that we can use to install Linux. What we have to do, we have to create some partitions. Now there are three types of partitions: standard partition, RAID, and LVM. If it will show, just choose the standard partition. We may discuss RAID and LVM later. Creating. Now the point, the important thing to point out here, the mount point. Anybody know the mount point? Mounting. Just logically attaching the device is called as mounting. There are, you can say, two things: physical attachment of any device to the computer and the logical attachment. Clear? Mounting means logical attachment of any device or any file system to that system. Fine. Here three things that we have to remember. We have to define the root, or this slash is showing the root partition. Fine. We have to define this hash, that maybe take the whole maximum space, and two mandatory, the one mandatory thing that we need to define here is file type system is by default here ext. In Windows, do you know the file system type? NTFS, FAT. Just like that, we have different you can say Linux file type system, and currently the Fedora 14 using is ext4. What I am choosing here is swap partition. File system type is swap. When I choose the file system type as a swap, it will not prompt me to choosing the mount point. Anybody know why? Swap file system here showing the swap memory. In Windows, what we call as virtual memory. Am I correct? Virtual memory. Have you studied in computer organization or in previous semester? Operating system. There is a memory called as virtual memory. You know where it exists? In hard disk. It is just a part of hard disk that we allocate as the extension of RAM. Is it? Fine. So the important thing that we have to define here, just defining the swap memory. And roundabout it must be double of your RAM. We have allotted 1 GB to RAM. Fine. So I am allocating swap memory as 2 GB, 2000 of MB. Okay. It will create swap memory of 2 GB. Again I am selecting here, creating another partition. I am choosing file type as ext4 and creating another partition, not as swap. Here the partition name is boot. Now there is one more term I would like to ask. There is a thing in study of Linux, kernel. Have you heard about kernel? Kernel, shell.
It basically decides what to be done. It basically decides how things will happen.
Who? Kernel? Yes, what is kernel? Brain of Linux. Operating system.
सारे हार्डवेयर को मैनेज करता है। अगर किसी भी जैसे शेल में कोई रिक्वेस्ट आती है कि प्रोसेस को वो रिसोर्स चाहिए तो वो शेल से कर्नल मोड पे जाएगा और वहां से उसको हार्डवेयर जस्ट लाइक अ ओएस।
It's just like a OS. In books you have you will read that kernel is the core or heart of operating system. इसको core या heart कहा जाता है. Why? Because in the definition of operating system we studied that operating system is a software that provide user interface that manage the hardware component. Is it? There are two things. Management of hardware and providing user interface. Then the major thing that is managing the hardware is handled by the kernel. Fine. The major thing that is managing, recognizing all the hardware component. What are the, you can say how we can access or what we can do with, not exactly we do us, what operating system can do with hardware. All those things are defined in kernel. And in Linux, do you know the size of, estimated size of kernel? In actually, what is the size of Windows 7 installation media or after installation? 4-5 GB, 7 GB in Windows 7 or later version. Fine. In different Linux version, the actual size of, you can say, complete installation have also increased up to some GBs. But the actual size of the core of Linux is less than 100 MB. Clear? The operating system part which perform the major function, its actual size is less than 100 MB. So here we are allocating 100 MB for booting because the boot partition, just like in Windows we have C drive, D drive, E drive. Fine. Similarly, we can create partitions in Linux also, but there is a little bit difference that we will discuss later. What is the difference between Linux directory system and the Windows directory system? But for this time, it is to remember that boot is that partition where our kernel will reside. Okay. Just selecting this, and the rest of the space I am allocating it to the major main partition that reside in this slash. This slash is called root file system. Note it down. This slash denote root file system. The different and most important thing in Linux file system is that it have a single parent, or it is the, you can say, starting of Linux file system hierarchy, slash. Clear? So rest of the space we are allocating for the slash. Okay. No, I have make some mistake. I haven't assigned space. It is about 14283. So 14 000. Around 14 GB, 13 GB I am allocating to the root file system. Just clicking, selecting here and selecting the next. You have not defined, okay. Another, create standard partition, choose the mount point as slash, size as 14,000 GB, that is around 14 GB. If you have less memory or you don't know how to manage these things, if you can say confuse what to do, just make two partitions, this slash partition and swap. It is enough. There is no need to create boot. Now it is asking to format this, and again till here it hasn't make any changes to your actual hard disk. So it is asking me to write changes. I am just clicking here, write changes to the disk. Now it is now formatting my drive that I have allocated for Linux installation, and in a few minutes it will start installation. Yeah, here it is asking me to giving the password of bootloader. I am not assigning any password here and selecting here next. Now one more thing here, there are different options that which type of Fedora you want to install. In Windows, Microsoft provide two different operating system. Do you know? In every its you can say software, there are two different things. In there are some Windows version that are called as Server Edition. Windows 2008. Heard? Windows 2008. What is that? Anybody have used Windows 2008? Windows 2003. Windows 2012. All these are what? These are the operating system dedicatedly you can say manufactured by the or developed by the Microsoft for only server systems. But in Linux there is no separate you can say software or separate version for client and servers. Fine, you can use the same installation media, same disk for server installation and same for client installation. Okay, we have you can say use Windows XP, Windows 7, Windows 8. What are these? These are clients operating system. Fine, for client machines. For server machines, there are you can say separate operating system by the Windows. But in Linux, in case of Linux, there is a single system. What we need to do? We have to do the minimal installation. Minimal means just installation of kernel and some important services for user interface. If you want, or you can say your usage is very less, you can install complete Linux in less than 1 GB or in less than half GB in some MBs. But nowadays, because there are you can say in market there are different types of hardware available for you can say connectivity for those hardware. Different vendors provide their drivers, so the size of complete installation increases up to some GB. Now I am just finishing it by selecting here graphical desktop. Now I am selecting here just graphical desktop. In later classes we will see how the other softwares can be installed here as per our requirement. Now again it will take some time for complete installation. After here there is no any you can say tough thing that you need to do. Just clicking some next and it will finish up the installation. Fine. Somewhere it will ask to create a new user. That also comes in Windows. Fine. A new user. We have already assigned a password to root user. That is mandatory to create a root user. But Now it is going to take some time. One more user will be created, that we have to define a name and password. That is easy for us. Fine. So we will wait that some time it will take. Now one question again come back. Why the corporate, IT corporate is creating open source software? What is their benefit? One thing that popularity. Upgradation. Okay. Yeah. Actually, I have one more thing for you. I made this a year back, so maybe I don't know all the parts, but you can read this. That why companies are making open source software. What is their benefit? The question is, what is the source of earning of open source companies? There are so many companies that are developing open source software. Then what is their source of earning? Because if they, you can say, they are not paid, then how they pay to their employees? How they will run their companies? What is their source of earning? Yes. Start. Now see. Start reading the first point. Sell the reference manual. It means just provide the source code or the complete software as an open source, but sell the reference manual of that software as a proprietary software. One thing. Second thing is sell the subscription of the document. You know the subscription? There is our weekly based, monthly based subscription of any document related to, just like Fedora or any other software. The company can sell that software. Not exactly the software, but the document of that software. Third point is sell the installer. You know the installer? Yeah. For all the Java based software, we need JVM. For all Windows based software, nowadays what we need? .NET Framework. Similarly, there are so many different softwares. For installing them or for running them, we need just an installer. Fine. Then company can provide open source software, but can get earning by providing installer, paid installer. Third thing, 4th point, sell custom software development. Means if any customer require a customization in their software, company will ask for some money for some additional amount. 4th point. 5th, sell pre-integrated application. Means some integration software that the company, just like anyone has told that trial version is free, but you can say if you want to use complete versions. Similar to like that some of the part of the software is free, but if you want additional function, you can integrate another software. For integration, company will charge. Clear? Sell enterprise version. Yes. One more thing here, I would tell you, there are two operating systems, Red Hat and Fedora. You know Red Hat and Fedora? Red Hat operating system and Fedora operating system. There are so many other names also, like Ubuntu, Kubuntu, Ubuntu, Kubuntu, or Mint. Have you heard Mint? And India based, yes. In India there is a Linux based version. What is the name? Three or 4 years back, India based institution or a company make Linux version or Linux flavor of based operating system. What is the name? False. It's JBoss. Sorry, it's BOSS. 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 Bharat Operating System Solutions. It is developed by CDAC. It is I think first operating system developed in India on Linux based. Now, yeah, I am telling you the Linux different two versions, Fedora and Red Hat. What is the difference between Linux, these two versions? Can anybody tell? Both of them are provided by Red Hat Corporation. Fedora is also the product of Red Hat. Red Hat itself provides a Red Hat operating system and Fedora operating system. The main difference is what?
Red Hat is a brand
Red Hat is a brand.
and these are the products. Red Hat paid and Fedora unpaid.
No. Red Hat is also provided as an open source. Complete Red Hat software. Fedora is also provided as open source. The major difference is what? Major difference is that Red Hat used in actual production in corporate level. And Fedora is used for testing and debugging. Clear? They have same code. They release it in two ways. One is in production level, that is named as Red Hat. Another one is for testing for users, for other users, that is in Fedora. Fine. But if anybody want, they can use Red Hat also as a free, because it is also open source. It charges for their support. If anybody require support for any level, they will charge for that. Their enterprise level edition. Clear? Now I think it is going to be a bore session or interesting. Interesting है अभी तक? बोर तो नहीं हुए? Now I think actually मैं खुद बोर हो गया हूँ ये पढ़ते पढ़ते. Fine. Now who will read these things for me? One student who can speak these things loudly. One. Yes, stand up. Raise your hand. Who will just speak all these things? Yeah. Anyone? No one? भाई मैं बोलते बोलते थक गया हूँ. I need. Yes. Just stand up. Yeah. Stay there. Now, I have read 6 points. Just starting from the 7 point. Okay. Fine. The next, cell consumer devices. Just read fast because the list is not so short. Cell proprietary softwares by improving open source softwares. I think it will be better. Sit down. Yeah. Cell code management services. Cell hosting services. Cell and application provider. Cell conferences. Charge for changing the license. So people using open source publish books for open source. Yes. Orially develop software also and they sell books. They provide software free of course as a open source and they charge for books for those softwares. Clear? All of us know Oriely's books. Now sell a book, sell development tools, sell magazines, sell business applications, sell speaking engagement, sell open source migration services, sell white box hardware, sell a subscription plan, sell a network appliances, sell project management services, sell training, sell advertising, sell proprietary product. List is not finishing. So there are so many benefits. There are so many ways for the corporates to earn money. They just provide a single thing to you as a free, as a open source. But there are so many, countless ways for their earning. Clear? Now let's see. Our installation has been almost complete. Just finishing? Yeah. Thank you so much for giving your time. We will also continue. Just listen. We will continue this session in next few classes. Fine. There are so many other things that we will learn in next sessions. So if anybody find it beneficial, welcome. Thank you.
Thank you, Tanzeem. And please be seated just for 2 minutes more. Kindly bear me also. Okay. Okay. Now I'm going to announce for the OSTF schedule. We'll in this semester, the second semester students, you'll be having a tutorial on Linux. You'll be having tutorials on servers, and last for this semester will be the applications on Linux. We'll have a tutorial on that too. For this third semester, we'll be providing training for PHP. In your fourth semester, you will be developing softwares, and then corresponding to that, you will be giving presentations on that. In the meanwhile, the OSTF will be organizing activities like debates, quizzes, etc. All the OSTF members should either coordinate or participate. In short, it is a compulsion for the OSTF members. And all the other students, you can participate, coordinate. It's an open, as the team is an open source, so the events and everything, the tutorial classes are also open for all of you. So, but it is a compulsion for the OSTF members. In the meanwhile, if you organize any other activities apart from these, it's again a compulsion for the OSTF to either coordinate or participate, to organize whatever the scenario may be at that time. But it's open again for the other students as well. Thank you so much. You're free to go now.
कौन सी?
ये भी जो करा रहे थे, पीपीटी भी करा रहे थे ना,
ये पीपीटी
हाँ
ले लेना.
Sir, just need to ask one thing. Like you told कि disk की